Welcome back to another episode of Out Loud Geek, where we discuss news and views about pop culture, science fiction, fantasy, food, cooking, the outdoors, and more. It's time, once again, for another depressing dose of dismal Disney. As part of Disney's third round of layoffs that occurred late last month, which I had talked about in a video that I had released at that time, those layoffs included 75 positions at Disney's Pixar animation studios and were the first significant job cuts at that studio in a decade. And those 75 eliminated positions apparently included 2 executives who were behind the box office flop that was last year's Lightyear, which was supposed to be a kind of prequel to the successful Toy Story movies. One of the eliminated execs was Lightyear director Angus MacLane, who was a 26-year Pixar veteran and part of the senior creative team on such acclaimed films as Toy Story 4 and Coco. Galen Sussman, who was a Lightyear producer, also departed. Sussman had been at Pixar since the release of the original Toy Story movie in 1995. And that was 28 years ago. Not surprisingly, neither MacLane nor Sussman could be reached for comment. But the other laid-off Pixar exec was Michael Agolnik, who had been Pixar's vice president of worldwide publicity since 2015. The layoffs, which took place on May 23rd, were part of Disney CEO Bob Iger's previously announced plan to eliminate 7,000 jobs and slash $5.5 billion in costs, as I had talked about in a video that I had released back in February. While small as compared to Pixar's employee base of about 1,200, the layoffs are significant because the studio is a creative force generating franchises and characters that drive revenue across Disney. Pixar's famous cinematic franchises include Toy Story, The Incredibles, and Cars. But Lightyear, released a year ago with a reported budget of $200 million, only brought in a pathetic $218.8 million and was one of 2022's biggest flops, as I had talked about in videos that I had released last year. And a contributing factor to Lightyear flopping last year was due to it being unable to be shown in 14 Middle Eastern and Asian countries because of its depiction of a same-sex relationship. To understand just how badly Lightyear flopped last year, if we multiply the movie's $200 million production budget by 2.5 to estimate its break-even point, we get a figure of $500 million to account for the 50% of gross ticket sales that movie theaters keep for themselves, as well as the additional costs of marketing the movie and other miscellaneous costs that the studio pays above and beyond the production budget. The movie only earned $118.3 million domestically and $100.5 million internationally for a global box office total of $218.8 million, which was only 1.1 times its production budget. If we divide that $218.8 million by 2, Disney only got no more than $109.4 million. Then, dividing the break-even point by 2 yields $250 million, which is the estimated total cost for the movie. Subtracting the $109.4 million that Disney received in net box office ticket sales from the $250 million estimated total cost for the movie means that Disney lost around $140.6 million on Lightyear. So I'm not entirely shocked that Iger's layoffs included execs responsible for that awful flop of a movie. Disney really needs to understand that if they want to make money, then they need to start producing entertainment that people actually want to see, instead of wasting hundreds of millions of dollars on films and TV shows that only appeal to those pushing identity politics. The ongoing box office failure of Disney's live-action remake of The Little Mermaid, for which I have released several recent videos, further exemplifies Disney's creative bankruptcy and total disconnect from the people who pay to watch their entertainment. Thanks for watching today, and a huge thanks to everyone who has subscribed to our channel. We appreciate your support. If you enjoyed this video, please press the like button, and please feel free to share a comment. If you'd like to see more of our videos in the future and help support this channel, please press the red subscribe button, and please press the bell to receive notifications for new content. You can also find us on Facebook and Twitter by clicking on the links in the description. Until next time, this is Out Loud Geek.